Savoso. I've been with him a few years now, 22 years. In fact, we're celebrating our anniversary, August 3rd.
Amen.
My anniversary with Harvest and my anniversary to my lovely wife, Sandra. So super encouraged to be here. So Johnny, introduce yourself.
My name is Johnny Clark. I'm the managing partner for Maximum Balance Foundation, and my primary role is to oversee City Lab Professional, which is a Maker Lab community here in Hayward County this year.
All right. Now, Johnny is a social entrepreneur who's changing the world. And we just saw a beautiful example about how they're providing jobs to the incarcerated, formerly incarcerated.
Right.
This is something that you do.
Yes.
Also,
yes.
First of all, give us a little picture of the magnitude of the problem. Well, it's really an opportunity, but
Right.
give us a little
Right.
bit of a picture of the magnitude of the problem.
A good way to look at this problem, if some of you are pastors or worship leaders, tomorrow morning when you go to church, today is Saturday, so tomorrow morning or so forth, if you go to church, look around your audience, you'll probably see about 75% female in the congregation, 25% will be male. Of that 25%, only one of those individuals in the audience will be marriageable or are eligible for marriage, has a job, has a house, has a means of transportation, and a way to support the family. So if you think about the opportunity, 3 out of every 1 man that may be out of the 25% of the people in your congregation tomorrow have the capacity to put 18. Let me read back up and say, if I create a job at $18 an hour for those other 3 men, there's $21 million worth of economic value that goes immediately back into the community. That's just with 25% of the men represented in your congregation, and 3 of those individuals happen to have probably been to jail. They probably grew up in foster care, probably have no concept of the fact that Sysco Systems is one of the largest employers in the Bay Area, but they have given me the opportunity to provide them with hope. And that hope means that I go inside of the prison 12 weeks before you leave and give you an opportunity to understand what 85% of the U.S. population doesn't understand. The difference between www and HTTP, actually it's backwards. HTTP and www are 2 different things, but 85% of the U.S. population is not aware of that. When they come out of jail and they go to their first interview, and they are already 15% ahead of everybody else, if you think about that.
So you go into the prisons. You
Yes.
are a certified Cisco trainer,
Certified
right?
Cisco trainer. Yes.
You go actually into the prisons.
Yes.
And you work with them 12 weeks before they're released.
Yes.
Because it's a 12-week program.
Yes.
And what do you train them in?
I teach them how to become certified in the first level of CCNT, which is the first level of Cisco. And that essentially teaches an individual the difference with how the internet works, how to strip a computer down and put it back together in 30 minutes or less. So that gives them a potential to go and have what we all can. I can even go to Best Buy and get a job on the Geek Squad, regardless of what my previous history was.
So then what happens when they come out?
A number of things come out. They come out and they take their initial certification test. In the past, where we were in San Francisco, San Bruno County Jail, as a matter of fact, was the very first effort ever in the United States for this to occur. The sheriff of San Francisco at the time was named Ross Mercarimi, and he thought this was such a off-the-record thing. He only allowed me to memorize the book. He wouldn't let me take the book in the prison. I had to memorize everything. I had a blackboard, a piece of chalk, and an eraser. And the promise that if I got those individuals to pass that test, that I could come back and a couple of other times. Well, there's a YouTube video out there of the first graduating class in San Francisco. And the video, thank you. The video is called Blackboard, Chalk, and Eraser because I literally memorized the entire first year of the Cisco Networking Academy program and delivered it to the men inside the prison.
So they came out and then they got jobs.
As a matter of fact, as we went through, the individuals found it so intriguing that they actually came inside the jail to interview the gentlemen before they got out of jail so they could have their job. Today, Cisco is taking over the responsibility so that when you come into I've been given my own Cisco Networking Academy to operate anywhere in the world to actually affect this kind of change. So anytime the student enters into my program, they're automatically acknowledged by Cisco as already in the track. We need to get a job for these guys. And off to the record they go.
And then and then Cisco loves it because they need the employees.
Yes.
And they save money too, right?
Yes. Oh, well, without a doubt. So I operate in an area that's called the corporate social responsibility statements of most companies. And I call them in on the various, if they say that they're in the community, then let's get in the community. If you say you want to connect with diversity, well, let's get in with diversity. Let's talk about the fact that daddy is not on the playground on Friday afternoon, which means that the child is not getting 15 minutes worth of reading sometime throughout the week, which means that bullying increases on the playground, which means that community safety is in trouble. So we try to turn all of those things around by getting inside the prison 12 weeks before the individual comes out. As you know, and I'll say this as a caveat, if a man has been in jail since 2008, he should never have been able to touch a smartphone. How is he going to get a job in this community without understanding the concepts of a smartphone?
He's going to be trained by you. He's going to get out. Cisco's going to hire him. And Cisco, they actually save money too because otherwise they have to pay each H-1 visas, which we bless the H-1 visas, but they save money by hiring people right from the community. What I love is you're taking a problem and turning it into a huge opportunity.
Thank you.
And the future is so bright, you know?
Yes.
So let's close this out. I want you to pitch to us very quickly. We got 20 seconds left. The best case scenario. What is the future of social entrepreneurship?
The best case scenario is that we engage the pastors. They understand. They look at the ministries that's before them, the opportunities that before them. They hear the gospel, which says to go into the prisons and preach and teach and worship and make it happen. There's no question.
Well, there's your challenge. We've got it. Come on, pastors. Let's turn the church into an incubator for social entrepreneurship.